Okay, we've covered most of the operations that you can perform through insert, find, and update. Let's move on to deleting documents from the database. This is actually quite simple. You have essentially three options. First, each collection has a method called remove, and remove works very much like find in that it takes an argument which specifies what documents to remove. That argument has exactly the same semantics as the first argument to find, except that you must pass it a document. If you specify an empty document to remove, then all the documents in the collection will be removed one by one. If I specify an argument, for example, name, Alice, then the Alice document gets removed. Or I could give a range, name greater than the capital letter M, in which case, say, William is removed, as well as Thompson. So let's type db.people.remove with no arguments. The shell didn't like that. Actually, it would have worked prior to MongoDB 2.6. Now, however, you need to pass an empty document to the remove method, and we see that it has, one by one, removed all documents from the collection. Next, if you want to remove all documents in a single pass, in a somewhat more efficient manner, even if the collection is very large, you can drop a collection. The difference between dropping a collection and removing all the documents in the collection is really mostly an implementation detail. Removing all the documents in the collection requires a one-by-one update of internal state for each document that happens to exist in the collection, whereas dropping the collection requires freeing up some much larger data structures inside of the database's data files, which, although still proportional to the size of the collection in terms of the number of documents, is going to have constant factors that will make dropping the collection vastly faster than removing documents from the collection one by one until the collection is empty. However, collections can have some metadata associated with them, for instance indexes, which get discarded when the collection is dropped, but which remain in existence when a collection has all of its documents removed. If you have an unusual situation where you need to be frequently getting rid of all of the contents of your collection, the most efficient way to do so would be to drop the collection and then immediately recreate the indexes that ought to exist on that collection. As a further detail, remove, just like a multi-document update, can affect an arbitrary number of documents, namely whichever documents happen to match the first argument to the remove. Just like a multi-update, multi-document remove operations are not atomic, isolated transactions with respect to other readers or writers. That is to say, if you happen to remove, say, 10 documents from a collection, a concurrent read or write operation might see the state of that collection halfway through that remove operation, that is, after 5 of the documents have been removed. You'll need to take some measures of your own if you really need to isolate readers and writers from each other in MongoDB. However, as mentioned in the case with update, each individual document removal is atomic with respect to a concurrent reader or writer. No client will see a document half removed. Okay, let's have a quiz about deleting documents. Recall again the schema of the scores collection. There's an underscore ID, a student field, a type field, and a score field. How would you delete every record whose score was less than 60?